It was one of the coldest nights of the year last night, with mercury plummeting to -8 in some areas, and it's also peak time for the thing we most dread in the winter months, a boiler breakdown, which is exactly what happened to me this week.
Not heard the end of this one.
No.
It's not surprising that many choose to fork out every month for boiler insurance to ensure a swift repair should the worst happen. But is it worth it, or just a waste of money? Alice Beer is here to tell us. Right, OK, go.
You were chilly, weren't you, love?
I have been very cold for the last 2 nights.
And you weren't happy, were you?
Not happy at all. Also, Tuesday I found out that my boiler was done, that I needed to get a new boiler. So I had cover. I had insurance. I'd taken out insurance. I thought, oh, good, I'll ring them. This will be very swift, because they said that if you had young children, then you'd be put on a priority list and then they deal with you. So I then...
Sorry, but when they say that your boiler is finished, actually what they do is they shut down your boiler. They say
they can't turn it on
parts,
again.
and you cannot. It's not like you can sort of run it for the next 5 days while you're waiting. A boiler is a boiler. There's no messing around. They're probably one of the most dangerous things you've got in your house. They just turn it off and you're left.
Yes.
So...
And it was been freezing. The kids been in our bed. It's been absolutely freezing. And so the nearest appointment that they could give me was the following week. So we were going to have 7 days of this. So I didn't really know what to do. To me, that seemed like a long time to be without any heat whatsoever. So I called you because you're like the guru of everything.
Sort it,
like
Alice.
You know everything. And just because I wanted to know whether that was right, it just seemed like a long time to me.
What were they like on the phone to you?
Well, I spoke to various different people. The one guy that I spoke to who gave me the information that it was going to be 7 days also gave me a lovely little lecture about the fact that it was January and that it was a really busy time and blah, 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 blah.
Because you needed that.
Because I really needed that at that moment, as I was wearing 10 vests. But yeah, so it's not... I was quite surprised, shall we say.
Yeah.
Felt a little bit let down that I'd done the right thing of taking out an insurance, and actually when I really needed it, it didn't happen.
Well, 43% of people in the last year in this country suffered a boiler breakdown that left them without heating and hot water for a week. So you're not alone. 22% of them needed a new boiler. I mean, the average cost of a boiler repair is between £300 and £500, £300 and £500. So it's expensive, and you know that you can't mess around with it. It's not like you can tinker with a spanner. You've got to get someone who's gas safe registered to come in and fix it. So that's why many people take out boiler insurance. But is it acceptable to leave you for a week? No. Should they have had more engineers on at this time of year? Yes, of course they should.
It's not as if winter's a surprise.
It's not a surprise, of course not. And you can predict the temperatures. And HomeServe, who you are with, are one of the biggest companies. They used to be attached to npower, which is why I think you had the contract, because they were attached to your energy supplier. And they should predict. But this is an industry which has always been big on sales, small on service. It's notorious for it. And in fact, HomeServe were fined a couple of years ago because just that. They were selling and selling the policies, but actually when people needed to claim on them, they couldn't back up and provide the service. Now, I know they've tried to change over the years, and they have said to them that they've, this is their statement regarding you, that they visited you the morning after you called them, and they agree it's not an acceptable solution for any of their customers. Any customer who has no hot water or heating would be treated as an emergency, especially true if you have young families this time of year. They understand it's distressing, and they know that the situation was not acceptable.
Which they know they're going to say that, because Holly Willoughby is on the telly, and she's got Alice Beer on the case. And and you didn't call Alice to get preferential treatment. I mean, you called Alice because you didn't know what your rights were. No. But then, of course, you phoned them, and you say, I'm phoning on behalf of Holly Willoughby, and they all pooped themselves.
Well, they did, but they still couldn't get an engineer earlier than Saturday. And I did say to them, of course Holly shouldn't have preferential treatment, but she does happen to have 7 million Twitter followers. I said, are you nuts?
Yeah.
You know,
so what about for everybody else? I mean, what are your rights? What do you do if you're in that situation
look at
like
your
me
contract.
and you haven't got an Alice?
Yeah, all call me. I'll hand out my phone number at the end of the programme. You look at your contract, you see what are the terms that they will guarantee to get somebody out to you. You actually didn't have a time sort of period in your terms and conditions, which is quite interesting. They don't guarantee they're going to get somebody to you or fix it within 24 hours. But what is an acceptable time to be without heating at this time of year? I would say 24 hours, 48 hours maximum, really, with small children. What I was then advising you to do is, if they cannot get somebody out before Saturday, which was what they were last saying, is get yourself your own quote, find yourself your own gas-registered plumber and get them out to fix a boiler. Tell the company you're doing it and tell them that you will be invoicing for it.
And will they pay that?
They should pay it. Have the discussion beforehand. They have been known to pay it.